news. I have successfully quit my job. No more being underpaid, no more stupid customers, no more inexplicable rushes 5 minutes before closing, and no more time wasted. I can finally pursue my greatest passion without the constraints of time constantly working against me. Gaming.
Go get a job, loser.
This is Stick It to the Stickman, a new game developed by Free Lives and published by Devolver Digital, which just went into early access a few days ago. While editing, I also found out they were the creators of Gore and Ain't That Neat. It's a 2.5D and sometimes 3D physics-based stickman fighting game, platformer, and strategy game. Your goal? Do your job. In the beginning, this will mean going to the finance offices, firing your buddy, firing your coworkers, and eventually firing your boss. Only to become the boss, now forever beholden to the iron fists and wills of the shareholders. How will you do this? As mentioned before, this is a fighting game, and how you fight is simple. You see these squares down here? Those are your moves. Whichever move is highlighted will be the move you do when pressing the attack button. After using that move, it will move on to the next one in the sequence and repeat. As a bonus, you can also jump on your enemies, and though that usually doesn't do damage, it does push your enemies downwards, which can be useful to take advantage of the environment. Though this combat may sound spammy and mindless, and it definitely felt that way at first, as the game goes on and you get more experience with the system, you'll start to realize the importance of making the right move at the right time and configuring your moveset in the right way. This realization starts with the upgrades. As you fire your coworkers by means of extreme violence, you'll be getting XP, signified by the occasionally on fire bar at the bottom of your screen. Once that bar is full, a door within the company will open and you can accept a promotion. These will either be a general character upgrade that affects your stats or gives you status effects, a new move to add to your sequence, or an upgrade to a move already in your sequence. Each move can be upgraded twice, and each upgrade I've seen so far brings a worthwhile change to each move. The first upgrade is usually nothing too crazy. The same can't be said for the second. Experimentation is heavily pushed by the game, as it doesn't immediately tell you what the final upgrade is going to be, and as such you have to invest in a move that you're already unfamiliar with, which will make you more comfortable with spending that second promotion on that upgrade. Even if the name or a small preview of the move doesn't really appeal to you, which makes the chance of you finding a new favorite move each run much higher. Speaking of each run, if you successfully make your way up the company building, you will face a final boss, defeat him, and take his place. Then do whatever the shareholders want you to. Usually something to do with expanding the company, building a new building, and or destroying those annoying little protesters. Whether you win or lose, as you play through the game, you'll unlock different archetypes of workers that you can choose to be for each run. Each of these guys comes with their own quirks and starting movesets, but they can also access the same moves via the upgrades, so if you choose a character and aren't much of a fan of their initial moveset, you can add on the moves you like more as you go through your run. As you go through the game and start expanding the company, the building that you have to climb will be getting much bigger. Due to this, you will actively notice yourself getting much more powerful, as there's a lot more time for you to gain XP and build up your character. But you will also notice that your enemies are also starting to put up more of a fight. Usually a single enemy won't be too much of a problem, and even crowds of enemies can be destroyed with certain moves. However, if you allow yourself to get surrounded, you will find your health gone in an instant. Some enemies are tankier and harder to knock back, some have more damaging attacks, some stunlock you with small talk, and some will scream at you. Later runs start to become endurance tests and games of health management. Your health is often a rare and sparse resource. Each point is precious, and losing too much can and will make you start paying a lot more attention to how you're playing. You have to manage the space between enemies, utilize hazards, and use everything to your advantage to kill your enemies before they kill you. These hazards can take the form of windows, electrical servers, gravity, and other enemies. I found myself relying on range and stun moves more and more during the late game. I found the expansions and characters that had health effects and abilities to be frequent lifesavers. As you expand, you'll also notice that there are more active roadblocks in your way per run. Whether it's a big guy, a little guy with a bunch of other little guys, whatever this is, or Satan. These guys will serve as skill checks and your primary roadblocks, and they can range from being really easy to being Satan. The boss at the top is also constantly changing as the game progresses and the shareholders require more and more from them. But even then, unfortunately, I usually find the final boss to be among the easiest. And that's basically the finance office. My main gripe with it at the moment is that it can feel a bit tedious. The things within the tower to do change, yes, but the tower itself doesn't really. All your expansion is purely vertical, which means that you will essentially be doing the same thing over and over again, albeit with different gimmicks from time to time. I think this is an easy thing to fix though. Well, at least easy in concept. A bit more horizontal movement and mixing combat with platforming can go a long way in shaking things up more. We get a taste of this in the very first run of the game, where you start at the street level and can use something as simple as the cars to your advantage. Having segments like that to change up the usual climbing up gameplay would definitely relieve the monotony experience when doing a run. I'm quite confident in the solution too, because it's already been proven to work in the fulfillment center. Let's talk about the physics of this game really quickly. They are strange, to say the least. Running and jumping feels very floaty going up, but also very heavy going down. You get used to it very quickly, and the result of it feeling like this is impact. You really want to be making your jumps or making your enemies miss theirs, because if you or they don't, you're going to be hearing a very meaty in your near future. Luckily, even if you don't have a clean landing, these guys come with a built-in parkour system. They'll grab onto ledges, they can slide to build momentum, they can climb up walls for a short time, they get access to a nice dash, and they can wall jump. Using all of these abilities, your goal in the fulfillment center is to deliver packages from point A to point B in a timely manner. In the first few orientation levels, they'll show you the ropes, how everything works. They're relatively short and sweet, and gradually introduce you to most of the threats you'll face in your shift in the fulfillment center, all ending, thankfully, in a pretty unthreatening boss. After these, you can choose the main shifts, and boy, are these a gauntlet. They're a pretty long series of rooms with enemies and obstacles to go through, and of course, packages to deliver. After each room, you'll get an upgrade, some of which are unique to this building. Then depending on how fast you were, you get to a shop where you can use your, company points. Jesus. This can lead you to snowball extremely quickly and become a powerhouse, but you also have to be extremely careful, else you get Clone Ward or the Gang Beast treatment. Combat is mostly avoidable and unneeded, and you can even grab some power-ups. These work by getting used first regardless of where they are in the move list. It's a much simpler game mode than the main one, and though I wouldn't say it's as strong as that one, it does offer a nice and fun gameplay change that contributes to the expansion of the company, and proves that platforming and combat can mix quite well in this game. There is one more gameplay style that unlocks after you hit a block in the stock market. What's the stock market in this game? Something that the shareholders ask you to get into. After every run, your value will increase in the stock market, which will unlock new things for you to do throughout the world and new things to encounter in your runs. This last gameplay style, called the cage fight, is the biggest departure from the usual gameplay. Have you ever played Shadow of War? If you haven't, you really should. Anyway, in that game, there's the fight pits, where you pit two orcs against each other in a fight to the death. Your job, if you want one to win, is to stack all the cards in your chosen orc's favor. You do this by giving him attributes that would give him a leg up on his opponent by exploiting his weaknesses. After you arm him with what you feel is a good loadout, you watch them fight and hope that your warrior isn't incompetent. You do the same thing here. Utilizing the move list mechanic in the game, you give your character a sequence of moves in a specific order that can only be used for as long as they have hype, signified by these yellow circles below the moves. After every round, that move will lose hype, and once it's depleted, that move will disappear from the move list. After each round, you'll also earn points to spend on moves to give to your fighter. More expensive moves appear the further into the rounds you get, and are generally more powerful than the moves you start out using. After each round, you can also choose an upgrade for your fighter. The goal is to win 3 times while avoiding losing 5 times, which, trust me, is easier said than done. A fair bit of strategy goes into this mode. For example, on the second opponent, literally called Starbucks. His gimmick is recuperating a ton of health by drinking his coffee, giving himself practically infinite health. But there's drawbacks to this. If he goes too long without having his coffee, he suffers massive withdrawals, actually losing health overall. So, this means that we have to make it so that he's unable to drink his coffee for a prolonged period of time. How do we do that? With stun moves. The fake handshake, the panic attack, anything that makes sound. Using these to keep him from being able to move interspersed with damage dealing attacks will hopefully give us the uptime we need to deal enough damage and give him the downtime he needs for the withdrawal to kick in, giving us the W. Of course, a fair bit of RNG comes with this mode, as is the nature of physics-based AI-controlled fighting characters, and that can lead to it being frustrating. But the game gives you a ton of chances to win and a lot of advantages that you just have to take advantage of. This mode will definitely not be for everyone. Hell, even I think it's the weakest of the 3 currently available, but by no means is it worthless or unwelcome in the game. Overall, Stick to the Stickman is a very fun game with lots of potential to be much better. Keep in mind it's still on very early access and a lot of things are subject to change. I left a lot of things out in this video, like the game's great sense of humor, if that wasn't already apparent, the special moves, the hijinks within the hub area, and how much there is to progress towards, because I'd like you to experience some of what this game has to offer for yourself. It's only $5 and you can get a lot of enjoyment out of it. Even if it seems like it isn't for you right now, it may be worth to keep tabs on it as it's only in early access right now and could possibly spark your fancy in the future. I'd say the biggest problem with the game right now is that it puts a lot of faith in its core gameplay loop hooking you, and if it doesn't, it's really not going to keep you retained. So, my suggestion towards the developers would be to shake up the individual gameplay of the buildings a lot more. Have some segments in the finance offices where you have to jump out of the building to ride a helicopter further up or navigate a highway before jumping back in. For the fulfillment center, you can have some water sections or boats where you have to jump or ride from boat to boat to get to the end. Or have a part of the facility explode and you have to outrun the explosion and parts of the facility collapsing. I don't have any ideas for the cage fight. Bombastic shakeups like that would do a lot to keep the game feeling fresh for a longer period of time, and would just be very cool to experience. As it stands right now, Stick It to the Stickman does a good job at being a fun experience, especially at $5, and I would definitely highly recommend it. Hey fellas, it's been a while. What I said in the beginning was true. I've taken a massive gamble to quit my horrifically underpaying job to go into a potentially underpaying career as an entertainer. So first things first, these upload hiatuses, things of the past as far as I'm concerned. There will be a new video every Friday, and if there isn't for a week, then there will be a short teasing or giving behind the scenes for that video. As such, BG Bits should be much more active, and I've created a third channel, BG Quicks. You can call this my slop channel. In reality, it's a behind the scenes channel disguised as a slop channel. I'll be talking about whatever's on my mind over there, or how progress is going on a video, or just how I'm doing, and the background footage will be of me editing my current project. Hopefully, this will help me in my workflow because if I ever want to upload something to BG Quicks, I'll have to have footage of myself editing a video in order to do so. And I'll try not to reuse footage as best as I can, so I gotta get to organizing. I recently massively upgraded my CPU, so I think I'll be talking about that experience for my first time over there. Alright, that's enough for me. Thank you so much for watching the video to the end. If you enjoyed it, I'd appreciate if you leave a like as well. And remember to be entertaining.